I mean, the name of Wipro has come up a couple of times in this discussion. So I want to ask you what your time there was like. I mean, in many senses, that would have been such a defining moment or part of your career. And I also want to ask you about your equation with Azim Premji, because he's such a quiet and reserved man that one doesn't get too many insights into somebody or from someone who's worked closely with him.
We have actually, Premji and I have become closer over the years than we were in the past even. And we were very close. In fact, I believe that in my 15 years, I probably saw more of him than maybe some members of his family, for that matter, because he spent so much time in the business. But I think now it's got substituted by a relationship of perhaps mutual respect, understanding the value that each one of us provided to the other. I learned a lot from him, and there's no question that I also did lay the foundation for the growth of the company. So it was a wonderful experience. People may have had some issues in terms of the way they've dealt with him or whatever it is, and there may have been stories published about that. My own view is that he had a tremendous ability to add value in businesses which he never actually directly managed. Except for the 2 years that he actually ran Wipro after Vivek Paul also left. And that is a very unique ability to be able to sit in and say, okay, we've discussed this, the decision is still yours, but what about this angle or what about another angle? And that probing that he continuously did helped you to fine-tune your own decisions. There's another very important aspect, and that is he never, ever overruled the CEO. Certainly not with me. I don't think so with the others either. Perhaps there were many more decisions to be made in our business, being a very fast-changing business. And that is because he would make it very clear, I'm not going to take the monkey on my back. It is your call. We've discussed it. Now you go ahead and decide.
It's wonderful to hear you say so many nice things about Azim. But who are the other people in IT or elsewhere, in any other industry that you really admire, Ashok? Because you've had the vantage position of observing so many people over the last 30, 40 years. Who are the people who you would even call mentors?
So inevitably, the real mentors, or if you will, the people I learnt with most, have to be the people in the earliest part of my career. So there was the late Dr. Charit Ram, head of the Shriram Group of companies. And my first boss, Mr. Bishan Sahai, still very active. He must be 90 plus. And he's still churning out books or chapters of books for another colleague who asked him to contribute a chapter. And then I would go straight on to Mr. Premji after those 19 years of mine in the engineering world. And with all of them, I would say it's a question of learning. And as far as mentorship is concerned, trying to pick up the best of each of one of those three. And therefore bring it together into helping to mold me as a manager or as a leader.
Well, as an active participant in the digital world, what do you think of people like Elon Musk? I mean, again, a figure in the Western world, in the technology world, who draws equal amount of flack and admiration. Where do you stand on his initiatives?
He is such a unique person that nobody can. One has to appreciate the fact that he's always on the leading edge of whatever he's doing. And he's been able to build. The beautiful aspect is that because of the market capitalizations his entities have involved, he's able to build huge war chests to continuously fund industries which really require tons and tons of money. I mean, today we are all obviously focused on Tesla, but he's working on ventures in space. He's working on ventures in satellite and communication. So there's no end to what he's thinking about. And certainly one must admire his ability to be able to do things which are going to change and influence the world.